Okay, so I'm going to show you guys how I am putting my Zoom classes on Canvas. There's two kind of ways that I have found that works for me. And you can choose which one you'd like to do. So both of them use EdPuzzle. I was looking for a way for me to put my Zoom classes online so that kids, I wanted to make sure that the kids were watching these classes as if they were in class, because in order to give them credit for the day's class, they need to actually watch the class and listen to what's talked about. So I want to make sure that they actually watch it. And I wanted to make sure that they understand it. So I have a question, which usually is about the main topic of class that day, that I want them to be able to answer in order to get credit as well. So they have to watch the whole video and they have to answer the question in order to get credit for class that day. So at first I started using assignments and I would just post the video to there and I'd ask the question, but I can't guarantee that they actually watch the video because they just answered the question. So I can't guarantee that they actually listened to all the discussions and topics and things that we were talking about in class that day. A lot of times I give instructions on how to do things, or we actually go through the process of this is how we do it. We do it in class a lot of times. So I want to make sure that they actually get that information. So that didn't work. Then I tried using quizzes on Canvas and I could see how much of the video they had watched, but they still aren't forced to watch the whole video in order to answer the question. I also ran into the problem within quizzes that when they submitted it, it just automatically grades it. And so I have to go into each individual quiz to see if they actually submitted the answer or not. So I was continually running into problems. So I wanted to find a few things, a solution for a few things. So I wanted to find something that will make them watch the whole video. I wanted to find a way for them to answer a question to make sure that they understood the video. And I wanted to find an easy way for me to be able to see on gradebook on Canvas that they have actually completed it. And so I can grade it without, actually knowing that I have graded it. So I'm going to show you guys the first part of both of these options that I do. Again, both of them use as EdPuzzle. EdPuzzle is great because you can upload your Zoom video and put in the questions that you want, and it forces them, you can't skip through the video. It forces them to watch it. So let me show you what I do. So on my EdPuzzle account here, I have created some folders for each of my classes for me to put the Zoom videos in here. I just didn't want a whole bunch of videos littering up. I already have some content related videos here, but I just didn't want to litter it. So if you are interested, the way that you create video or folders, you just click on add content, new folder, and you can add your folder. I just write the same thing, save folder, and there's my folder right here. You can also go into it and delete it if you want to as well, which I will do that just so I don't have to worry about it later. So once you have your folders up, the way that you add your Zoom classes is you just click add content and upload a video. So you can click, choose a file. You can drag your video there if you want to. But after you find your video, then all you need to do is attach it and it'll start uploading right here. Okay, it'll show uploaded files as well. You'll start uploading that video. It'll take you back to this main screen and you'll see right here is preparing. It takes probably about 10 minutes to upload onto EdPuzzle, so it's not that big of, not that long of a wait. Uploading through YouTube, which I've used in the past, takes about the same amount of time. And uploading to Canvas for videos, sometimes it's really quick. Most of the time it takes forever. So I've stopped using Canvas to upload videos directly into there. Once it is done uploading, all you need to do to move it into the folder, you just need to click on the box, click move to folder, and select which folder you want to move it into. Now in that video, in that folder, you will have the name. It automatically saves my videos as Zoom. So I definitely will want to change the name of my video. So I'm just gonna double click on that and it'll open up to my video. And over here, I'm gonna click edit. And I want to change the name of this. Today is January 4th. So I'm gonna just type it January 4th Zoom class. That's what I just normally called it. And I'm going to save it. Now from this menu, if you haven't used EdPuzzle before, you can take sections out of your video. I have used this for YouTube videos. If there's a part of the video on YouTube that I don't want to actually have on here, then I'll make a cut. So for instance, if I go right there, I'm going to add cut, and maybe I want to cut out that part, I'll add another cut, and then you just drag it and then drag it from the line. You can also drag from the line to edit your cuts that you have there. So I'm going to undo because I don't want to do that. But if you wanted to make cuts into the video, you're welcome to do that way. The other option is a voiceover option where you can record for a portion of the video. As it's a Zoom class video, I don't ever really use this, but I do use this. So one of my things that I want to do, of course, is to make sure that they understand what is happening. So I have to attach a question to this video, and the best way is to attach it at the end. EdPuzzle has an option where it won't let them skip through to answer all the questions. They have to be forced to actually watch it before they answer the question. So I'm going to drag my cursor to the very end, for the very end of the video. And to make sure they understand the question, I put an open-ended question, and I'm going to have my question there and click save. Now it's an open-ended question. You can see that right here. That's at the very end. Okay. EdPuzzle saves it automatically. So once you are done, you just click finish and your video is all set, ready to add into Canvas. Now I know down here it will say assign, and you can use that. I would suggest not to, so I don't even use that, because through Canvas, it'll automatically create a class by itself the first time that you use it. I have already used this and used the videos in my classes, so it's already created classes for me. So I won't go through that with you, but it'll ask you to start a class when you first assign it. Now, the way that you add it into your modules for your assignments is you just create an assignment, just like you normally would. I'm going to call this test number 2. Sorry, I had my test number 1 for this, making sure I have the 2 different options for it. Then you click add item, and you'll go into it and edit it. Now, in here, the body of the assignment, this is usually where I would just type in answer the question. Answer the question that in the video to receive credit for today's class. So there's 2 ways that you can do the grading. You can assign the points 0 or 1. You can always, for my Zoom classes, I don't count towards the final grade, so make sure that is clicked. But you can do points or complete or incomplete. Those are the 2 different ways that you can do that. When it's points, if you're going to do points, then put a 1 here or any other number besides 0. If you do complete or incomplete, you can do 0. It doesn't really matter what you do because it won't show any numbers. But if you do points, then I would put at least any other number besides 0, and I'll show you why in a minute. Then when you submit it, after you've already installed EdPuzzle as an external tool to your Canvas, you just click through EdPuzzle. Now, normally it would say set up to class your first time using it, but I've already done that. It shows my folders and also my regular content classes. So I would just click on the folder, click on the video. Now it'll show the video here, has my question at the end. I'm going to click assign, and it creates the class that you created. That's what it assigns it to. This button right here is one that will prevent skipping. You could turn it off, but mine is already preset to prevent skipping. And then you click assign and select to find it in there. And then you just save and close. Now in your gradebook, I'm showing you currently part of my gradebook without any student information on it. I'm going to show you the 2 different options. Now, if you ask them to submit it and you have it out of a point option, you will see here are the different options. I have entered in a 1 for kids who were already here that day, so I know that they have done and they were there. And then once they submit it, it shows up as a 0 until I grade it. Once I grade it and I mark it as correct, it'll show up a 1. And that's why I say if you do assign with points, do any number besides 0, because when they have turned it in, it'll show a 0 until you go in and change and grade it. Because EdPuzzle, just like with quizzes, it'll grade automatically, but open-ended questions, you have to go in and change it, but it'll mark it as a 0 until you go in and actually grade it. So with points, have at least out of 1, so that this is what it'll show up as when they have turned it in. If you do it out of complete or incomplete, this is what it'll show up. So for example, the kids who were here, I would go in and mark them here by marking it as complete, so that I know who was here and who was able to get that lesson for that day. And this student here is the one who I submitted through both of them. He turned in this assignment and it marks it 0 until it turns in. And if you do the complete or incomplete option, it will mark it as an X or incomplete. You'd have to go in and mark it complete in order for it to show as complete. I prefer this option personally, because if I were to go into, say, any of these incomplete options, complete or incomplete options, then when you go into the actual assignment, this, like I said, this is my quiz option when I had it as quizzes, but when it is past due, I can't change it from incomplete to complete. I have to go back to the grade book. So I can't change that score from here when it's past due if I mark it complete or incomplete. If it's numbers, then I can change it into the number that it's supposed to be. So if I see that they answered it, I can change it right here to 1 when it's graded by points. But if I grade it incomplete or complete, then I'm not able to change it from this screen. I'd have to change it from my grade book to be able to change it. So that is why the option that I recommend for you guys is to go through EdPuzzle, upload your videos there, and you can have the question at the very end of the video to force them to watch the whole video before they answer the question, and then to upload it or have it assignment based on points. You can again mark it as not included in the final grade. I just gave it 1, so it's easy for me to see, and it'll show up as a 0. Then I know I need to grade this because it shows a 0 on here. And if it's marked as complete or incomplete, then it will show an X on this one, but I can't go into it. So you can use that option, but this is the option that I'm going to be using from now on when I am grading my classes. So I hope you guys enjoyed that, and let me know if you have any questions at all about how to upload your Zoom classes in a good way into Canvas.